Okay, I know this might trigger some people, but Walt Disney Animation Studios is my least favorite current animated studio. Not saying that they're bad, far from it actually. They're a very talented studio with many talented animators. But god damn how they made some dumb movies. So I decided to look at the worst of the worst. Their worst movies, their worst films. And some of them may be the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. We're gonna look at the top 5 worst of them today. This is the top 5 worst Disney animated films. And keep in mind, this is my opinion, so yeah, you know the drill. Let's get started. Hopefully I won't guess some angry comments saying, "Oh no, you don't like this film, hubbada. Okay. Number 5. 101 Dalmatians. Okay. Hear me out. I love 101 Dalmatians as a franchise. The second animated movie and 101 Dalmatian Street are some of my all-time favorites in anything. And hey, the live-action movies are being unique from other live-action Disney movies that I know of. Ahem. But while every single film, TV show, hell, even the first TV show, which I do not like at all, was actually good. Okay, it was not good, but at least it still put effort. But out of every single thing with this franchise, the one thing I do not favor is the one that started it all. The original. Now, it's charming. I like it. It's a charming, nice movie. Just because it's at number 5, I still give it a 5 out of 10 because it's a charming, sweet movie. But good God, it's boring. It's one of the most boring, drawn-out films I've seen in my entire life. It's not even that funny. The excitement doesn't come in until like the end of the film. But even then, before that, all you have is just incredibly boringness. But the characters are charming, and it is creative at times, so I can't really go to the point where I say I hate it. It's just a nice, charming movie. It's just not that good. Number 4. The Lion King. Okay, this one is especially controversial to me because everyone loves The Lion King. Everyone considers it one of the best animated films ever made. Well, guess what? It's not. While there are some things I like about it. For starters, the animation is really good. I like it. The music is very good. Hans Zimmer did a really good job in this. But oh yeah, there's also 2 good songs, Be Prepared and Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Everything else about this movie is bad. The story is convoluted and too complicated and cliched. The characters are one-dimensional. The comedy is awful. And 3 of the 5 songs in this movie are terrible. Like, God, what happened? This could have been a good movie if they just took out the musicals and just took out the comic reliefs and made this a full-on serious movie. But no, this is the Renaissance we're talking about. And the only thing that could come out back then was musicals. So many goddamn musical movies. Also, I'm looking at this now and it says it's a musical drama film. Are you forgetting a little bit of a comedy right there? Because, yeah, remember Timon and Pumbaa? 2 of the most unfunny, most idiotic comic reliefs I've heard in my entire life. I've also sung one of the worst songs I've heard in my entire life. Yeah, you should put a little bit of comedy in there because it was just a musical drama. I actually would have liked this movie. And to think that one of the directors of this movie, Rob Minkoff, was the guy who directed Mr. Peabody and Sherman, which is one of my favorite animated movies. Let me pronounce it again. This guy who directed this made Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Good God. Number 3 arena. Chick in little. Everyone knows about this movie. It's hated. I'm not going to go into detail because what's the point? You all know exactly why this film is bad. Its story is confusing. The animation is awful. Yeah, I can't really explain that much. Because by God, there's nothing more to say. Every critic in the human existence has said that this film is an awful pile of crap, and that's it. So, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. It's a 3 out of 10. It sucks. Goodbye. Sonic number 2. Melody Time. I do not like Melody Time. It's one of the worst films I've seen in my entire life. Now, this is from the age of the package Disney movies, which is home to the Three Caballeros and The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, which I consider to be one of Disney's best masterpieces. Yet, this came in between Fun and Fancy Free and Ichabod and Mr. Toad, and is one of their worst movies. That's because it's just Fantasia, but awful. It makes no sense. There's no good actual music, and it's basically just a watered down version of Make Mine Music, which came out 2 years before this. No, 2 years after Make Mine Music. And Disney was actually getting the grasp of how to make good package movies, something that they learned with the Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros, which, yes, is Caballeros. It's Spanish, I know, because I've learned it. Well, I am learning it. Yeah, this movie is awful. It's a 3 out of 10 experience. It's not actually... Now, would I call it one of the worst animated films or films of all time? No, far from it, actually. It's just a run-of-the-mill bad movie. Through and through. I still think the animation is really good, though. That's the only thing that's consistent with these movies. All the animation of all of them is good, apart from Chicken Little. That one has the same animation level as Ice Age 6. But, yeah, let's move on. And the number 1 worst Disney animated film of all time is, you're not going to expect this, The Black Cauldron. Yup, that movie. One of their movies that went through the most hell in production due to Jeffrey Katzenberg being overprotective. And by good freaking God, does it show that this movie had a trouble with production. It is one of the most stupid, unsequentially awful movies I've ever seen in my entire life of existence. Now, yes, I still think that the animation is good. And yes, it is creative that it is actually their first PG movie. But let me emphasize what film came before this. The Fox and the Hound. Which is actually, I love this film. It's an 8.5 out of 10 film. It's a masterpiece. An underrated, beautiful masterpiece. One of the most heartwarming, saddest, yet also most uplifting films they've ever made. And this is actually what The Lion King should have been. A drama. A full drama. Not a musical comedy drama. An actual full dramatic film. But 4 years later after that, we got this movie. Which I consider not only to be their worst film, but it actually might also be one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not bad enough to be in the top 10, so I'll just call us the 11th worst film of all time. The story is convoluted, the characters are idiots, the humor is unneeded and awful. The dog character is annoying and he should have stayed dead. The main boy sounds like a princess and the princess sounds like a boy. And yeah, this film is just awful. It's just so awful. I hate it. I will make a My Thoughts Of episode on this, just so you know. I will tear this film to absolute shreds, so it will never see the light of day ever again. It deserves to bomb at the box office. There's no worth coming out of this whatsoever, apart from the animation and some cool designs. And you know, it could have been good because Tim Burton worked on it. But they got rid of him after they realized that he was a little bit messed up in the mind, especially with his consideration of what dark actually is. But yeah, this film was awful. 2 out of 10. You can go jump down the lake. So yeah, that's basically my top 5. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm just gonna say now that Raya is not good, but Encanto is. Encanto is a really good movie, and I love it. It's an 8 out of 10. It's a really good movie. Yeah, so they've been kind of going through a redemption era in the 2010s, but even then, I still love the studio for what they do. But it's just that they're my least favorite current studio. Mainly, I did it because Disney themselves actually shut Blue Sky down. They're my favorite American animation studio. But now it's Pixar, because Blue Sky's dead. So, yep, the Walt Disney Company can go screw themselves for firing all those people. And I just want them to burn and die and just leave the animation studios alive. Marvel can go die, Lucasfilm can go die. National Geographic can be sold to someone else. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically my opinion. Please do not give me angry comments. I'm really rushing this, so goodbye.